It's your boy Arnizzle, and we got
Savannah Colbreth.
Atwood.
And Robbie.
ROBBY. Represent.
I'll fight you.
He says that at least like 3 times a podcast.
Yeah.
We do not have
He thinks he's funny.
Wes Dunbar.
Thinks he's fake.
I don't think we're really missing much, but
Apparently Wes has given up on life, and he doesn't exist outside of his home or his apartment or Walgreens. So that's all he does now.
he is not a pod boy
Can we
anymore.
just kick Wes out of the PodBoys?
Yep. Unanimous vote. Wes, if you're listening, well, you can still be a guest every once in a while.
But let's be real. Is he going to drive back to Smith County for the pod at all over Christmas break?
Probably not.
Nope.
Anyways, let's start out with the games. We got
That's why I'm an artist.
unranked MTSU versus unranked Arkansas State.
Was it any question if they were ranked or not?
Look, we don't leave any towels unturned, and
We don't assume
we don't
rankings.
we don't leave any Carmelias unsmelled. All right, I don't
I
even
think
know
it's
what that is.
Camellia. I don't think it has an R in it.
Comma.
This is
Anyway,
also
Does
the
that
guy-
song play at y'all's Walgreens all the time? The Karma
No,
Chameleon
thank
song?
God.
Karma. Oh my god. It's
The
been playing the
Friends
whole 2
theme
years
song.
I've worked.
The
At-
Friends theme song comes
it
on
plays a
lot,
lot, yeah. I can handle it. I can't hand the chameleon.
True blue till the day I die. I'm going Blue Raiders.
Pretty soon Ryan's gonna be an MTSU alum. He already got his alumni shirt and they gave him an ink pen.
You're washed.
He's out. He's an adult now. You can't be on the tweeter anymore.
No. I ain't Lane Tiffin.
He's gonna start looking at his phone like that.
You automatically
The
you're
grandpa phone.
obligated to look at your phone an arm's length away.
And you have to tilt your head
Tilt
back.
your head
Yep.
back.
And scroll with one finger.
There you
Open your
go.
glasses. You gotta slide the glasses down a
Slide
little
the
bit.
glasses down and look at back here.
All right, while you're roasting me, how about you make your picks? Who you got in this game?
I think it's obvious that I'm going to pick MTSU because I picked them every game so far this season, and obviously a lot of those picks were wrong.
Hey, you was right 6 times.
I was right 50% of the time. So, but I am wearing my MTSU sweatshirt, and I'm pretty sure I'm wearing my blackout. No, I'm wearing my Chance t-shirt. I was wearing my blackout shirt from the MTSU game.
Just you need to get blackout drunk after MTSU games because they're trash.
That's the only option after an MTSU game.
So who
You
you
have to forget what
got?
happened.
Oh no, and I'm going to go Arkansas State Red Wolves.
That's petty.
Red Wolves, baby.
Unfortunately, I can't forget how bad Stockstill played against Western Kentucky, so I'm gonna have to go with Arkansas State as well.
Look, he's getting
On a
drafted.
more serious note, if they put Urzula in, they have a better chance than if they leave Stockstill in.
No, they do not.
Urzula's crap, but Stockstill's worse crap.
Is it
No,
Corey
that's a
Walker?
lie.
Oh, he's
They're
probably
both
worse.
hot garbage. Just
Listen, Urzula is dating a Smith County local, so
she is, yeah.
so we gotta support him.
I hope this game's played at
have
night
to.
because dumpster fires burn brighter at night.
Speaking of dumpster fires, we've got another matchup of unranked. Northwestern versus
Northwestern's ranked.
Kentucky.
Northwestern's number 20.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're
21.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, false news alert.
Fake news.
Fake
News.
news.
We got a huge matchup.
It's gonna be huge.
We got number 20, supposedly, Northwestern
21.
versus Kentucky Wildcats.
I saw the MTSU versus Ole Miss, and I panicked for a second. I was like, that's not who we're playing anymore.
And I think this matchup is definitely going to get wild because the Cats are going to get dogged. I'm taking the Wildcats. Oh,
Wait,
crap.
what?
They're all the Wildcats. I'm taking Northwestern.
I
NW.
was so confused for a
He's like,
second.
they're getting dolled. I'm
I think-
taking them.
We did that before. In
I'm
another
so
game.
confused.
It's like
it
two-
didn't click in my mind until
There's 2 Bulldogs teams playing, I think.
Mississippi
It happened on
State,
another
Georgia.
podcast.
Mississippi
yeah.
State, Georgia.
Yeah, I'm taking Northwestern. Kentucky doesn't have a shot. You don't have that Chi-Town magic. Who you got, Savannah?
I think we can all agree that the Wildcats are going to win. So, that's my pick.
100% chance of being right.
100%
Yeah.
chance that the Wildcats will win. So Kentucky's been hot garbage for a while. Sorry, I would. But this is just not their sport.
Bowl game last 3 years. to.
This is just not their sport still. Northwestern's gonna come in and wreck them. It's not gonna be close even. So
Please. I'm going to have to go Kentucky. Got Benny Snell. I'd say top 4 in the East on running backs.
They're
Georgia.
Huh?
2 of those are on Georgia's team.
Exactly. And then, I mean, Mark Stoops, as much as I hate him, he's turned hot garbage into not so hot garbage.
Yeah, okay, so it's still hot garbage.
I said not so hot garbage.
Look, Benny Snell's going to have at least 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kentucky wins this one because the Big Ten is soft.
That's fake news.
Are we talking about TCU?
Oh. One man that does not give fake news is coaching this next matchup. We got Florida Atlantic University, Owls.
The
versus,
real FAU.
Yeah.
The real U.
Versus
you.
the
The real
Zips.
U.
And it's obvious that I'm picking the man that not only wins on the gridiron with 120 yards, but he can also win with 120 characters. Or now, I guess 280. I'm taking Lane Kiffin.
It was 140 characters.
I don't even care.
Yeah, someone wins with 120 yards. What is going on?
It's like that's the
Like
full field.
280 characters now.
That's the full field, fam. It's
Well,
like
if he only travels once and only gets 120 yards,
yeah, but from line to line, it's 120 yards.
but you said he can win with 120 yards,
I don't
which
care.
implements
He
can
probably
only.
could because it's Lane Kiffin. All right, never doubt the man. And let me just say, he needs to put some more discipline on his team because they were picking him up. That's undisciplined. Anyways, Owls
think
over
Miami-
Zips.
What would make Miami the real you again is losing some of the discipline that Mark Richt has brought. He seems like too good of a guy to go to Miami.
They need to bring back the convicts.
Yeah, we need to bring back some of the
Greg Olsen.
dancing over people.
G Ray.
What's your name? G-Rig.
Are
The
we?
rest of that will be
Are-
censored.
So who you picking in the Florida Atlantic matchup?
Florida Atlantic. Kiffin's gonna blow him out single-handedly. Just put him on the field.
He wins by himself.
Who
Oh,
you got?
by the way, the other game that's played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the Celebration Bowl.
Oh,
Green
that's a
Bowl.
lit bowl.
Grambling.
Hey, they get to celebrate. On that one, I'm gonna have to go Lane Kiffin because
Not even FAU. Just like FAU.
just Lane Kiffin. He can go out there and they're gonna give him a W. Because I mean, what does Akron produce other than trash?
Hey, they produced the king. The crown is located in Akron.
I'm going with the real U. FAU wins by 40. Kiffin's going to hang 50 on him.
That's bold.
The trickery comes out.
And this time, John Franklin III's not going to drop it before he crosses the goal line.
Speaking of Last Chance U, what was his name? Law. He went to UAB.
Yeah.
I think he dropped out, but our next matchup is UAB versus
It's not
Ohio.
like that.
Which one was that?
Who's the running back?
He's a running back
Oh, okay.
first season.
He went to UAB and then dropped out. But I'm taking the Ohio blank University. Bobcats by 21.
I feel like that could be like a really funny joke. Ohio could take their Twitter game to the next level by
Yeah.
making their name the Ohio. Like, it would just be a funny thing. So
I think one of the Michigan coaches legit calls Ohio State Ohio. I think Brady Hoke did that. He would just call Ohio State by Ohio.
I think they just call him like that school in Ohio.
I know that Ohio State is like that team up north.
Yeah.
But who you got?
I got UAB. It's impressive that they came out to an 8-4 season after not having a football team last year. So
Yeah, on
shout
that,
out to them.
on that NCAA 14, they legit. If you use the updated rosters, they legit had a trash squad. That 50 overall, and they were garbage.
Is it that bad?
Dude, they literally made their team trash. Maybe because it was just raid people. But I guess they're up now. Who you got?
With that one, I'm going UAB. I mean, same reason with that Savannah said, but it's really only the reason. That's the only reason you need.
It's impressive, like I said earlier, you have drive in you if your football game or your football program was canceled because you were not performing at all. So to see them get their football program back, they're definitely motivated to continue winning.
So who you got? Robbie.
Yeah, UAB's going to win. You know they're going to be fired up. This is only the second bowl game in school history, and they're going to win it. They didn't win their first one, but that doesn't matter. They're going to win this one.
Well,
Big. Bigly.
well, you spoke about not winning the first one. This next team knows all about winning the first one and the second one. And we're speaking about World Wars. Army versus San Diego State.
Didn't know where you was going with that.
I was really confused.
Army's undefeated in World Wars. So, yeah, we're taking...
America.
I'm taking Army West Point just because I stand for the troops.
Never wore them.
And I stand for... Might as well be.
No.
I stand for the West Point, and I don't stand for the Aztecs because, I mean, where are they now? So, that's my point.
Help start a part of the world.
That was racist.
Where are they?
That was racist.
How is that racist?
Wait, what happened?
So who are you picking, Savannah?
Obviously, I got to go with my boys, San Diego State. I'm taking them to a national championship on my dynasty, so they got to win their bowl game before I can play my season with them. I'm mostly nervous to play my season with them because I scheduled some hard games that I probably shouldn't have.
I mean, you're taking the climb like Jim Harbaugh decided to, because Jim Harbaugh is the head coach at San Diego State for Stanford.
I'm going to be better than Jim Harbaugh, though.
He's not even that good.
That's fake news. Neither is Savannah.
He locked up 4th place in the Big Ten East. Hall of Fame coach right
Yeah,
there.
that's legendary.
Went to Super Bowl. Got beat. No, did he? Ended.
Yeah, he got beat by his brother.
Yeah.
I don't know
John's
the difference
the
of
better
them.
one.
That's got to be an awkward.
Thanksgiving.
I feel like it's always like...
If I was John Harbaugh, every time I ever saw Jim, I'd make sure I wore my big fat Super Bowl ring. Like, look what I got.
Sit beside him at Thanksgiving and be like, so how was your season this year?
I feel like any family that has like multiple like people in the same field of anything is kind of like it's competitive.
I definitely feel like before Peyton won his second one, that Eli, like every time they
had
saw
to
each
do-
other, just wore both his rings. It's like, you might be the better one, but
Archie's
Did y'all
over.
see that interview of Eli?
Archie's over here got his
he's
little
like
pins.
crying.
That was actually like
It was
kind of
sad.
heartbreaking. Yeah, like he looked like he was about to cry.
Thanks, Bob McAdoo.
What an idiot!
Fired.
He got
And then he got
fired.
fired.
All right, so who you got? Army, West Point versus San Diego State.
I'm gonna have to go. Like I said, I only know one person San Diego State's produced. He's known for defense, so
Head coach Savannah Culver. That's what it is.
yeah. So I'm gonna have to go with the Aztecs on that one. Plus, I mean, you can really blitz about 6 or 7 each play, and you're gonna shut down Army.
That's fake. That's
Wrong.
not true.
What's the record?
We support the troops here. Army West Point wins. In a close one.
Thank you.
Actually, they're students as of right now. They're not troops, not yet.
Oh, so you're disrespecting future United States soldiers?
I just said they weren't troops yet.
Well, you know what? They're fighting for your right to...
No, they're not. They're going to school.
Okay.
They ain't fighting for nothing right now.
Well, I've been trying to, connect the dots on, points to go from game to game, but on this next one, I literally have no idea. It's Purdue versus Arizona. I don't think there's any little puns or jokes I can make. And I think there's only one person I know in this game, other than obviously the legendary coach Jeff Brom. Khalil Tate's going to take over and show why maybe he should have been in the Heisman campaign. I'm going Khalil, but not by a little bit. He's going to win by about 50 points.
That's like a little bit.
Are we still on the Army San Diego State?
No, we're on Purdue versus Arizona, you clown.
Did you hear
Damn
it?
it.
Purdue there.
So who you got? Army. Now you got me messed up. Purdue or Arizona?
I don't really care.
That's me.
I'll take Purdue.
That's fake. The Boilermakers. Okay.
I just want to also say that the Army San Diego State game is going to be like the Army versus Vietnam.
You cannot. Oh my god. That is played it quick.
Sometimes you gotta go there.
Awkward silence. Anyways, Atwood, who you got? Purdue versus Arizona.
I'm with you. I only know one person, and that's Khalil Tate, which I think he should be more of a running back than a quarterback.
Hey, that's how I play. 42 interceptions as of right now, but you know what?
I'm gonna just say Purdue. Because they're Boilermakers, by gosh.
Yeah, you got me heated right now with that Boilermaker.
The only thing that's going to matter in this game is Jeff Braun. He's a good coach.
I think it's crazy.
He's a little insane, but sometimes he beats his head against the wall before games. He gets a little fired up, but
I think it's crazy that they can just swap positions, go from quarterback to just I don't know. Our boy Ryan Tannehill, he did that.
Who's the quarterback who went to...
Let's not talk about Ryan Tannehill right now, even though I would gladly take him
That's my favorite
back.
Ryan, though.
You know what?
Oh my gosh, I got flamed.
Who's the quarterback who did that at Oklahoma?
Purdue wins.
Huh?
Who was the quarterback who did that at Oklahoma? He went to quarterback to tight end.
I don't know.
I know Bucky Hodges did it at Virginia Tech. He went from quarterback to tight end.
This was in the last 5
Somebody
years.
did that at Miami.
No one in the last 5 years from Oklahoma has done that. The only real quarterback that's moved positions lately,
I think his
know
last
it's
name was
Bryson Miller.
Bale.
Bucky Hodges, he literally got drafted last year.
never even heard of him.
He only went to Virginia Polytechnic. So.
I guess it's safe to say that I don't give a buck.
For Buck's house, you gotta replace every F-bomb with Buck.
Alright, so we got the real UT versus
Don't
Mizzou.
ever say that again.
Yeah.
Texas Longhorns
Texas.
You want to get
versus Missouri
decked
University,
across this table right now.
Columbia.
What?
That's where it's in, is Columbia.
Hmm.
Anyways, as a journalism major, I feel like I gotta take one of the top journalism schools in America. I'm going Missouri Tigers. They got a massive passing game. They're going to definitely score a lot of games. Yeah, massive mass call.
Massive mass call.
They're going to score a lot of points. They might get scored on a lot, but I think Missouri wins.
Did anybody else catch Ryan when he said they're going to score a lot of games?
Oh, really?
He never realizes it when he says stuff wrong. He just keeps rolling with it.
I never say stuff wrong.
I feel like you have to do that as a journalism person though. You just gotta roll with it. Pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
So you know what never happened is you picking the game. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Missouri because every school in Texas is garbage.
That's
Hot
fate.
take.
No, that's
It's
facts.
facts.
Straight facts.
That's fate.
Except for that high school team that built that couple
Yeah.
$1 million stadium.
A couple few. I think 50 million.
Was it 50 million?
Yes,
Good
Allen
God.
High School in Allen, Texas. $50 million stadium.
That's a bucket list destination. I gotta go see that.
That's where I'm going next year. I'm gonna have a PodBoi's game day at Ohio State. Y'all just be ready.
At Ohio State?
At TCU versus Ohio State.
At
Jerry Jones,
the
if you're
Ohio
listening,
State.
let me in the press box for this PodBoi episode. I won't let you down.
He will let you down.
Missouri's going to win that game.
Same.
Big 12's trash. Go SEC.
Oh my god. Well,
Mizzou all the way.
speaking of trash,
It was a TCU game?
shout out EC Denton. We got number 22 Vautech versus 17 Ox State. I think we're going the Cowboys. Mason Rudolph and James Washington. In my opinion, probably the best duo in college football. I don't know how they lost as many games as they did. A couple swings of the ball, they could be a national championship game. So I think they're easily better than Virginia Tech and probably beat them by at least 20.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State, mostly because I want to see Ethan Denton mad online. So
Shout out EC.
let's see the rants afterwards, buddy.
Hey, I think the real question is Virginia Tech better than Georgia? He's been saying they're trash, but I don't know.
I'm actually have to support my boy old EC and go Virginia Tech on this one. I mean, what conference is Oklahoma State in? Exactly.
The Big 12 is trash, but Oklahoma State wins this one. They're going to put up like 50 points. Their defense might not be able to stop a nosebleed.
Well, see, that's the thing.
But they're going to score points. Virginia Tech can't keep up with them.
Oh, it's going to be a close one.
Speaking of a close matchup, and I really do think this is going to be a close one. We got number 13 Stanford versus 15 TCU. As a TCU fan, I think that we've got this matchup because our run defense has been the only thing that's been solid this year. And that's definitely all that Stanford does. So I think Bryce Love will definitely get some touchdowns, but I think Kenny Hill, last game ever, because he's definitely not going to the pros. I think he'll try kind of hard.
I know I've said this before, but please, in your free time, look up a picture of Kenny Hill and tell me he does not look like the guy from Key and Peele.
It's not that close.
I don't know
Which
which
Jordan
one.
Michael Key or?
I mean, it's the black one.
They're both.
They're both black.
They're not both black.
Yes,
are
they
they?
are.
Yes, they are.
Okay, I can't think of what the
Keegan
second one looks
Michael.
like then. The chubbier one.
It's the light skin.
The shorter one?
No, they're both
They're
light
both light
skin.
skin.
Damn, hold on.
Keegan-
Is he bald?
Keegan's
No.
the bald one,
Okay. So
and then Jordan's the short.
It's Jordan.
chubby- Okay. That was just,
So that
It's
might
not
have been
the
the
it's
most
not the one
racist
that
thing.
does. I'm sorry. I thought one of them was white. I swear.
Nope.
No. I'm gonna add him and tell him that you said that.
Oh shit, I'm a 1%.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Nobody's gotten bleeped yet. Got interesting news here. Hugh Freeze has started liking tweets about Jeremy Pruitt being the head coach at Tennessee. So you know what that means? He's going to join him on Rocky Top to be our offensive coordinator.
well, I mean, Lane Kiffin said stuff too, but
We don't support people who may have known about child molestation going on, but I guess Hookers is all right. It's not that bad. We'll take
Well,
him.
Look, one of our former presidents did it. Shout out Bill.
Trill Bill.
Party Bill.
Trill Willie.
What's that wrong about Hugh Freeze? All right. Who you got, Savannah? Stanford or TCU?
Well, like I said earlier, every school in Texas is hot garbage. I'm sorry, Ryan. I love you. Stanford's the trees are gonna put it to them.
All right, we cannot be having PDA on the pod. All right, what do you got?
I'm gonna have to go old Bryce Love. I mean, there's a reason he was a Heisman finalist, so he's gonna run all over TCU.
Oh my gosh, that's petty.
The Horned Frogs, they suck. Trees win this one big.
Oh my gosh, jealous because he didn't get Gary Patterson. I see.
No, I'm cool with old Pruitt.
I mean, Pruitt's got a couple rings.
Got about 4.
Well, we can talk about the coaching search in a minute. But one coach that was involved in the coaching search, number 21 Wazoo versus 18 Michigan State. I think this game relies on Mike Leach, and I mean D'Antoni, however you pronounce it. He might be needing some love advice, and I'm sure Mike Leach is willing to provide it. He has the answer to everything, and I'm pretty sure that, like, Mike Leach knows any religion's Bible frontward and back. He's got the answers to life, so he's winning this game. Who you got, Savannah?
I know I've said before I really like Washington State's logo. Like it's really cool how they made a W and an S, and it still looks like are they like cougars or?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cougars.
Are
like a
you high
cougar
right
mouth.
now? Yeah, I love their logo.
I do. It's kind of cool. But I'm going to take Michigan State here. They're actually picked to lose. Michigan State is. But I think they'll win by just a little bit. I'm going to say that goes to overtime. Michigan State wins.
Oh, balls.
Let me see the game again. All right. On that one, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to take the Spartans. I mean, he might be great at interviews, but he ain't going to take down the Spartans. He ain't got the answer for the Spartans.
Look,
I love that people no, never mind.
last I checked, Miles Bridges ain't playing this game. So
They don't need Miles Bridges, son. Draymond was a part of the Michigan State Spartans football team. That's all they need.
What?
Yeah,
was Draymond in the squad?
yeah, he played football.
What?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like
no.
6'8".
Yeah, tight end.
That's
Like,
hard.
he actually played.
He was on the team.
Okay, so he didn't play.
He played in the, what they call, green and white game, I guess.
He
what
was
they
in there
call
for the
those.
cardio.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Anyways.
That's news for me though. I honestly
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
know that.
know that. But anyways, Washington State wins this one. The Pirate gets it done. He's one of the best coaches in college football.
We got two top-notch teams. Number 5, all uppercase, the Ohio State University versus number 8, the Trojan Boys.
Ohio State,
Oh
okay?
I want to
Trojans.
second that and also say Ohio State.
The Trojans are going to bend them over and them. I'm not even going to be subtle here.
Jeez.
All right.
That's got to be a record for the most bleeps in 30 seconds.
We're record breaker boys. Dang. I can't even make a bad joke about USC. I'm just going to say, I'm taking the Trojans. All right, Tommy Trojan's going to beat Billy Buckeye or whatever his name is. That's all I got.
I already picked.
Oh.
I said that they were going. Well, I got descriptive. Anyways,
I'm pretty sure when someone says "fucks" in my head, it means it's over.
Yeah, this was supposed to be an audio pod, but Savannah got pretty visual with the description. So
Is that the Cotton Bowl?
yeah, kind of racist.
With this one,
no, that's racist. We gotta change that name.
with this one, seems like everybody's picking USC. So
If you go against
I'm-
the Trojans, you're fake. You're not a true
You know
pod
what?
boy.
You're not a true pod boy.
I'm about to go JT Barrett. Anyways,
That's fake.
he's clutch.
You're never invited back.
Urban Meyer.
That's a requirement to be in the pod boys. You have to pick the Trojans no matter what.
Sam Darnold and the Trojans, they're gonna rape Ohio State this weekend.
Oh my
And Greg
God.
Schiano is just gonna turn his
Turn
back
his
and
head,
just
he's-
he's gonna
I didn't
ignore
see that.
everything that happened.
This is bold. This is so bold. Okay. And you might go tattle on that one, though, because it involves him. Well, he's a top defensive coordinator, all right?
Dude, he's a rising star for the head coach. I don't know what you're talking about.
But he almost lost to Wisconsin, who did not have a good offense. Oh my! That might be the most bleeps on one game pick of all time. And it
We
might
all-
honestly
we
be
all
our
have.
first bleep on a USC game. I mean, we've got dirty, but
It
never
probably
like
will.
dirty.
Yeah,
But they've never played a team that I absolutely hated, like Ohio State. I hate Ohio State.
So why does everybody hate Ohio State?
Dude,
because it's
they're
Ohio
arrogant.
State.
They're
Mostly-
arrogant.
It's mostly because of the 2002 national
Oh
championship
my
for me.
gosh. So you didn't
Who'd they
even. You weren't
play?
even alive. You weren't
I was
even
alive.
watching.
You
weren't
weren't
even-
alive in 2002.
You weren't even watching college football back then.
I probably
Who'd
was
they
in the
play in
room of it.
2002?
Miami.
Oh,
The fake.
You need to watch what's that? The ending to that game is garbage. It was before they had instant replay. So Miami should have won it.
is it? No, that was before they had Reggie Bush. Who was their quarterback then?
Who had Reggie Bush?
We're not talking about USC. No, we're talking
Ohio
about
State.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, Miami.
Okay.
Anyways,
Let's just get to another game.
I'm just
Speaking of
I'm in a bad
Shiana,
mood now.
number 9 Penn State versus 12 Washington.
The Fiesta Bowl.
I honestly think Washington's overrated at number 12. They have not proven anything this year.
Yeah, that was the number 13 team.
So I'm taking
Oh, shit, I mean 15.
number 9 Penn State. I don't think McSorley's that good, but I think Saquon Barkley's going to show out, and then he's going to leave.
He's going to be
and go
salty
to
that
the-
he wasn't a finalist for the Heisman.
He didn't deserve to be a finalist, but he's going to show
He's still
out.
going to be salty about it, yeah, because he was mentioned a lot.
He's going to show out, go to the draft, if he's even eligible. And
I
then he's
don't know if
going
he was right.
to leave
I'll
Penn State in
fact check you
shambles.
there.
The Nittany Lions. Crying.
I still don't know exactly what a Nittany line is.
Does anybody?
Does anybody? Yeah.
If I was them, I probably would have just named us lines, but
That's not as cool. And it doesn't get as many Google searches as like, what's a Nittany line?
I'm probably going to Google that later if we're being honest, so.
You gotta be searching and optimized. SEO. Alright.
I got
That
Penn
what he
State.
got.
I'm gonna have to go with Penn State and Shaquan Barkley and
Shook one.
how is it?
Look here,
Saquon.
Ahmed.
Saquon.
Sucked one.
Saquon and that quarterback who you said was not trash, who's better than Kenny Hill
I mean,
and
he is.
McSwirly.
Like, I bet Robbie's better than Kenny Hill. Like, anyone can go out there and throw the piss can around.
I'm
I
washed.
feel like if TCU had a better quarterback, they had a chance this year.
Wait till next year.
You
Your
sound like a
five-star is
Tennessee
gonna
fan.
decommit.
Yeah.
Wait till next year.
McSwirly's gonna tear him up.
Yeah, I think.
McSwirly. It's McSorley.
McSwirly.
You're
You
a
gotta call
clown.
him McSwirly.
Like, I think Penn State probably wins this pretty easily. Like Ron said, Washington hasn't really beat anybody.
They lost that close one to Arizona State when they were trash.
And Arizona State's hot garbage.
Alright. Speaking of hot garbage,
We
number
didn't cover
11,
the TCU game.
Miami. Oh, yeah, we already talked. Number 11, Miami. Following that thumping from Clemson. Versus number 6,
Tigers.
Wisconsin. I'm honestly going to take Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin's got... I think they're kind of got an underrated rushing attack. And I don't think that Miami... I don't know how you can come off 2 losses, like, after going undefeated to that point. I don't know how you can come off 2 losses back to back
Pissed
and
off. That's how you come
and be
off
at
of it.
full and be at full. So I'm taking Wisconsin because they were at least competitive in their championship game. So I'm not trying to get copyright infringement.
Oh yeah, they're gonna copyright you over a game or a song that they made. It's on SoundCloud.
What's your name? G-Reg. What you do? Get head. How you drop my drawers and let us see
In
my
the third league.
Okay, Savannah.
Shout out Greg Olson.
Does that answer your question on who I picked? The mother you.
Okay. Savannah, I'm going to check, but
sorry.
you might have a new record.
I'm feeling
I
myself.
think you got 4, maybe.
I had 6.
I usually don't say many.
So do you.
Obviously.
Okay.
Next year, you're gonna see a repeat of
You
2001.
really do sound like a Tennessee fan now.
I mean, technically, I am a Tennessee fan as well.
Feels
so-
like one.
I mean,
Feels like one.
it's like part of me to say we got this next year. Any team I support.
Who you got, Atwood? It's in Miami.
Well,
It's basically a home game for Miami.
the best way to sum this up is a bunch of cornbread rednecks versus a bunch of thugs.
They're not even thugs anymore.
And
That's the sad part.
10 times out of 10, I'm taking the U.
Oh, I thought that was a butt.
I think
But
that they need to go back to like recruiting like in the hoods. So.
I hate Miami. I think they're overrated. Wisconsin sucks.
I don't think
Miami,
Wisconsin sucks, but
their offense is like a peewee team.
Hey, it works.
it's right on Madden.
Yeah, no kidding. Miami wins.
Oh,
They're going to break out the turnover chain quite a bit this
I
one.
feel like they're going to be really mad that their season ended the way it did, and they're going to want to prove themselves for like the upcoming season. Kind of like TCU did a couple years ago. You know, should have been to the national championship, and
Yeah,
they were pissed about it. So
What year was it? You said a couple years ago.
the first year of the playoff.
Oh, whenever they played in the Peach Bowl.
yeah,
Tennessee did?
Speaking of the Peach
No.
Bowl,
TCU.
Oh,
TCU.
TCU.
we got another team that kind of is having the climb like TCU did. Number 10 UCF fighting that group of 5 battle against number 7 Auburn. I think if Scott Frost is coaching in this game,
He is.
oh, he is staying. Oh, that's a deal breaker. I'm going to stick with Auburn because I don't know that the players are going to fight as hard for Scott Frost now that he's leaving.
They love Scott Frost.
I don't care if they love him or if they hate him, but
Even if they are pissed off, they'll still like want to win this game because it's
Yeah.
Auburn, and this is like
Gus is better.
this is a big shot. Like this is a big shot game.
I'm American and I love America, but I'm not going with the American Athletic Conference in this one. I'm going SEC because it just means more.
Oh God. My heart wants to take UCF a lot, but I think Auburn will blow them out just because they're not ready for that yet.
I mean, Auburn's got a win over who was at the time the best team in the country. And
Twice.
yeah,
Twice.
yeah. And I mean, UCF, I don't even think stands a chance. It's going to be. I could see Auburn beating them as bad as Alabama beat Vandy.
Oh my gosh. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. I'm like Savannah. I really want to take UCF. I like Scott Frost, but
It's like the underdog you want to root for.
I just don't think they stand a chance to beat Auburn. Because when Auburn plays on their A game, they might be the best team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn probably wins by 3 touchdowns.
At least.
Maybe even 10.
Oh my god.
Wasn't it Cumberland that took that, like the biggest L in history?
Well, what,
they
Georgia
did.
Tech?
It was
Georgia
like
Tech.
200 something to 0 or
Heisman.
Because Joe
Heisman was the
Heisman
coach.
was
Yeah.
That's
hard.
just embarrassing school history, as if Cumberland wasn't embarrassing as a school.
It's a roast.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it does suck.
They call it a private college. It's like a community college for
hot
losers.
garbage.
I'm sorry. Anyways,
I mean, they paid for my school for a year, so
I was
that's
about
cool.
to say it basically is a community college at this point because
Yeah.
they give you the
Free?
Tennessee Promise will take you
Well,
there for
yeah,
free.
they didn't have that when I was there.
Oh yeah, back in the
Back
old
in the
days.
Back in the old days,
Back in the
yeah.
day, they didn't have the Tennessee Promise.
Wish.
They didn't tell us they were doing Tennessee Promise till I already signed up for like 8 dual enrollment classes. So then I was like, pretty much all my gen eds are done.
Yeah.
So let me go on to the school I want to go to.
So while we didn't have the Tennessee Promise, the one Tennessee Promise that we all have this year is that Tennessee is not going to be in the next 2 games that we pick, or the 3rd game that we pick,
You
because
want to get hit?
we've gotten to the championship segment of our PodBoi episode, and we're going to start at 2 and 3. Georgia, Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl, so it's a travel for both teams. I can't stand Baker Mayfield. If you listen to the pod regularly, you know that. But it's without a doubt that he's the best player in college football. And, I mean, he's talented running, talented throwing. Maybe if he was a couple inches taller, he'd be first-round draft pick. So he's winning it all. He's got the heart of a champion. So
You still don't think he's going to be a first-round draft pick?
I mean, like number 1 overall pick.
Oh.
He's not in the top tier quarterbacks in the draft from what I've been checking. Darnold and Rosen are the top.
And what's Wyoming's quarterback's name?
I don't know.
Who
He's a clown.
cares?
He's a clown.
He was projected.
Josh
yeah.
Allen?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has impressed me, and I don't really like Oklahoma. I don't really have a solid reason why. It's just one of those teams that you're like, man, I just don't like them. But I think that their offense is going to be too fast for Georgia.
For this one, I mean, with it featuring 2 great quarterbacks, you could even say 3.
I mean, Georgia's best quarterback's riding the bench.
I've thought that all year, too.
Fromm's been doing good recently, minus the Auburn game.
Jake from State Farm.
But Baker Mayfield's got it in the bag.
He does. He's unstoppable in college football.
Oklahoma wins this game. They win the national championship. Baker Mayfield wins all the
I
awards.
hadn't got that far.
I don't care. Calling it now.
Okay. So,
He might be the best college quarterback ever.
oh my God. That's
That's
a hot take.
That's
You gonna throw Vince Young under the bus like that?
If we're being
Yes.
real, I don't think Vince Young was that great
Look,
all the way
Baker
through
Mayfield
college.
has 41 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and he completes 71% of his passes in an air raid offense.
It's really hard to debate the best quarterback in college football because if you're just talking about college football, they're only there for 4 years. And I mean, you could say, Johnny
for some,
Manziel
yeah.
was fantastic in college, but what's he doing now?
You could almost
Probably
say that
doing
Baker.
drugs with-
I would almost say Baker's the best walk-on in college football history.
Oh yeah, without
And
a
also,
doubt.
I mean, in 10 years, 10 years in college football, everything changes, It's a completely different game, just it constantly changes and gets
Doug
harder.
Flutie.
I think Baker's done more than Tim Tebow, though. Like, as a quarterback, I think that he's more talented. I might be wrong, but
He's definitely more talented as just a pure quarterback because Tebow
But
obviously
Tebow was
wasn't
good,
great of a
but
thrower.
Tebow did have weapons around him, like in the passing game.
His system was really
Legit
good for him.
weapons
Yeah.
with Aaron Hernandez, and then, I think that Baker Mayfield and that Florida team, they would never lose. So, all right, so we all took Oklahoma in that game. Now
Did
it's
we all
time to
take
do.
Oklahoma?
Did you take Georgia?
No, I was just asking. I
What are
didn't
you
realize
talking
that.
about?
I'm pretty sure everybody took Oklahoma.
Yeah.
All right, so
Pay attention.
I think this game might bring up a little bit of differences. We got the Sugar Bowl, an odd Alabama at number 4 versus Clemson at number 1. I think a lot of people thought that this matchup might happen again this year, but I don't think anyone thought that it was going to be 4
First round
versus
playoffs.
1. This is a hard one because Kelly Bryant, I mean, he's looked
He's a
okay,
stud.
but he's looked really good leading that offense after Deshaun Watson. And I don't know, watching Jalen Hurts that last game kind of made me question how good Jalen Hurts actually is. So I'm going to take Clemson in a close one. Alabama's going to have a comeback drive, and I don't think Jalen Hurts gets it done. Who you got, Savannah?
Well, I mean, even though Alabama had that big win over Mercer, I'm just going to say that I don't think this is like Alabama's year. I think they kind of got in on a little bit of luck to the championship because it was basically in the hands of other teams. And Clemson, they proved themselves all the way through. So I think that Clemson, from what we've seen so far, is definitely the better pick here. Plus, I mean, Clemson's got an awesome defense. So will Alabama be able to, how will they, get past that? How will they score points?
So, final pick.
Final pick, Clemson.
Okay.
This one, I feel like Alabama's coming in with a lot to prove. Of course, them losing on the last play of the game in the championship last year to Clemson. Of course, I could see them being pissed about the Auburn game, not getting into the SEC championship, as well as having to have their fate decided by another team. I'm going to pick Alabama, just because I feel like they are absolutely pissed.
I feel like they're probably mad that they got roasted so hard, about everyone's mad that they're in because they didn't play in the conference championship. So they'll feel like they have something to prove anyways.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm openly rooting for Alabama in this game because I want my new head coach to look good in this one. I think Bama wins this one because of their defense. Kelly Bryant hasn't seen a defense like Alabama all year.
Especially
And that's a
featuring one
fact.
of the top corners
Hey.
in the nation.
Syracuse had that good D, but, I mean,
Orange.
Kelly Bryant didn't play that game, so that's some excuse.
It's not no excuse. It's Syracuse. It's like,
Hey,
listen,
this ain't basketball, and Melo ain't there anymore, so. All right, so, championship game. Me and Savannah have Oklahoma versus Clemson. Robbie and Atwood have Oklahoma and Alabama.
I feel like we have the same outcome of the championship
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it'll be a close game. Honestly. Clemson's defense will slow down Baker Mayfield a little bit, but they'll still come out. I mean, Oklahoma will still win.
I think in a strange turn of events, even though Clemson wins the game against Alabama, Alabama still somehow slides into the championship game and beats Oklahoma. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. He's going to dog Kelly Bryant. K. Bryant's been retired a couple seasons from the NBA, and he's just not got that Mamba mentality anymore. So, yeah, Baker Mayfield, last game in college, and we all know he's a frat boy at heart. So he's got a shot for his squad, and he might make Old Road that day, and I'm sure that's what he wants. So, yeah, Baker Mayfield by 21.
On that one, I mean, Alabama does have a great defense, but I mean, it's the best quarterback in college football, so you're not going to slow him down. I could see it being a high scoring affair, but I'm still going with Oklahoma.
I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, regardless whether it's Clemson or Alabama against Oklahoma.
Watch Georgia freaking get in.
No, Georgia ain't going to
Like,
And either way,
Clemson, Oklahoma could be like a high
either
score.
way, I think if it's high scoring, it favors Oklahoma because I mean that's what they're used to. They play in the Big 12. They don't play no defense in the Big 12.
No. Who needs defense when you're in the Big 12? You
And
just
a
score
shootout
points.
is definitely going to favor Baker Mayfield.
The only issue is if Alabama gets one stop. Because, of course, with Alabama's offense, I mean, Oklahoma has a liability as a defense.
Well,
Look, Oklahoma's defense is better than people think, though.
I checked the stats about Baker Mayfield. I'm pretty sure that against the blitz, he's got the top quarterback rating in college football against the blitz.
The
So he
GOAT.
can definitely handle the pressure of Alabama's defense, I think. And if in my instance where they're playing Clemson, I know that Clemson has a good D line, but I don't think that it's really going to affect anything.
So, I mean, obviously, this kind of... I mean, their defensive stats aren't great, obviously, but they're allowing 240 in the air a game and 144 rushing a game. And that's not great, but when you're playing in a conference that's all about offense, it's not terrible when you think about it that way.
Well, Alabama does have probably I'd say top 5 receiver in the nation, and Ridley as well.
Yeah, but I mean, probably a lower quarterback in Jalen Hurts because he's trash.
Probably.
Jalen Hurts could transfer right now, and TCU'd waive everything just so he'd start in that
Oh,
ball
yeah,
game.
without a
Oh,
doubt.
yeah. And, I mean,
Because we're tools.
Oklahoma, all they have to do to win this game against Georgia anyways is just put 8 men in the box and make Jake Fromm throw the ball.
Because, I mean, he doesn't have the experience.
Georgia as a team is averaging 170 passing yards a game.
Well, they're
and-
rushing like 600.
Like almost 300. And if you look at it, like if you watch the first Auburn and Georgia game, Georgia probably would have won that game, but Jake Fromm missed 2 or 3 throws that would have been touchdowns. And if Jacob Eason's in that game, Georgia probably wins. I mean,
I think Jacob Easton's better than Fromm.
I've heard that he's thinking about transferring, and Jeremy Pruitt did recruit him to Georgia. Could bring him home to Knoxville. And also,
He could go to Kentucky, too. I mean,
Shea Patterson can transfer anywhere now without penalty from Ole Miss. That would be a good pickup for Tennessee.
I'm
too.
wondering.
why would he transfer?
All the
Because they
Saints
can't
against
go
Ole
anywhere.
Miss.
He can't.
Oh, yeah,
go
that's
anywhere.
right. They're
Bowl
under-
ban, but I think he's probably going to end up going to USC.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh crap! Oh gosh! Oh, Fields. Why is Fields still going to Georgia? The 5-star, like number 1 5-star. I don't know why he would go there. That doesn't make any
No
sense to
idea,
me.
Yeah, I definitely, if I was a quarterback, I would not be going to Georgia with Jake Fromm and Eason
Honestly,
both.
TCU could be a smart move on the
Yeah.
quarterback.
No, we already got that 5-star QB. Yeah.
I guess it's just that
First of all time.
that stay-at-home
Yeah.
feeling.
He is from Georgia, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he can start near half.
If he went to Tennessee, like he would. I'm almost positive he'd start from day one.
What
because
class is Kelly Bryant?
He's a redshirt freshman, I think.
Well, I mean, the number 2 player in the nation, a star quarterback going to
No, he's
Clemson.
actually number one.
Oh, they switched up?
Well, he's been number one most of the time. Justin Fields is only number one at ESPN, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
But Trevor Lawrence is number one in everything, and they were both actually like Tennessee was actually number one on both their lists for a while, and we got neither
That's
because Butch sucks.
5-star hearts, and they did not have them.
Butch Jones.
All right, so I guess in closing, Robbie, you got anything you want to say about this Tennessee coaching search? I know it can seem July.
I'm just glad it's over, so I can bring my life back to normal.
We survived. There were
I lived
times that
through it.
like customers would walk in at work and I just like I just ignored them and continued to look at my phone and I'm not supposed to do that. I should definitely drop my phone and pay
Yeah.
attention to the customer.
I mean, there was times where like Steven would be like in photo or something, and I'm on the register, and these people would start come up talking to him about Tennessee, and he would just like send them my way, and I'm like, guys, I don't want to talk about this more. Like, this is all my life has been for a month now. I'm just glad it's over, and we actually got a decent coach. Like, Pruitt has the potential to be really good.
We came out of this all right.
And
Has he ever been a head coach?
No,
Just one? Oh, okay.
and the staff he's put together so far is really good.
I think it's definitely been like one of the odder instances to where like
This
a
is
whole
gonna,
state was kind of on edge
this
on
is gonna
like
be a
what's
30
gonna
for
happen.
30 one day.
I think it could be, and I think it's only a matter of time. Like maybe in the
I've
next
watched
5
too
years.
many
or-
30 for 30s the past 2
That's
weeks. I don't know
all.
why. Just like am watching all of them.
And
That's
You
like
say it all started with Dooley.
It all
What-
started
what'll
with
be
Tennessee
called?
fans running off Fulmer.
30 for 30
I
dumpster
hate
fire.
Tennessee fans. Can I say that? Okay, I love Tennessee. I hate the fans.
I'll say this. I think it was probably time for Fulmer to go, but I don't
We
think
have the worst fan base in the history of fan bases. I'm
they
sorry.
got rid of him in the wrong way. Like it was
They
time for him to
did.
go.
If I was him, there's no way I would have came back to Tennessee. I would have been like, yeah, sure, and then I would have thrown up middle fingers and walked away.
I've been savage.
but really like the biggest part of him getting fired was Haslam and Curry, because Curry was the associate AD at the time Fulmer got fired.
Really?
Yeah. And
Curry's just always
and
messing
Curry
with you.
Curry really, I mean, even then he was the Haslam's puppet, and they wanted him out, so he pushed him out. And that's why I think it's so great now that like Fulmer was behind the scenes, like poking the bear, kind of, to get that job, because he should have got it in the first place.
So
And
the real question is Fulmer going to answer to the Haslams?
no, because the Haslams wanted him to hire Georgia's defensive coordinator, and he said, "F you, Haslam." And the Haslams also wanted the president and the chancellor of the university to give it to like the assistant AD.
I've read that our new coach that he's not going to take
No.
crap from any of those guys.
I like Jamie Pruitt already more than I like Butch Jones at any point during Butch's tenure at Tennessee, because
Well, when you put up with Nick Saban, you
Jeremy
gotta-
Pruitt's a redneck. That's what Tennessee needs.
I think he
It's
said like
just
all
fitting.
right a ton of times. Like
Aight.
on yeah, he said I.
He did.
I actually saw some tweets about
He
that.
said it like 30 times or something.
I don't know why. He just reminds me of like Maynard or
Look, I
something
mean,
like that, like a
He's
high
a
school
rock
football
star.
coach.
He was on MTV.
He's on MTV.
Yeah, he was the defensive coordinator at Hoover
That's awesome.
when Two-A-Days was on TV. Yeah,
That's awesome.
he's won like 4 national championships as a defensive coordinator.
That's insane.
What is he now? 43.
Yeah.
All right, you give him about 20 years. Whenever Gary retires, you'll have a national championship.
Because Gary's,
You think Gary's going to be there for 20 more years?
how old is he now?
He's already old. he's
He's
not
a-
that old.
I
he's
feel like
only
he's
like-
in his 50s.
He's like 57.
Yeah,
Les
he
Miles
ain't
is
gonna
better
be
than
Bill
him.
Snyder.
How you know? Les Miles is like 63.
It didn't take him.
Still got more rings.
It didn't take Les Miles till he was like 57 to win a
He got, like,
championship.
Y'all,
thumbs
just
three.
wait,
He looked
just
like
wait.
he was already dead when he's coaching.
Gary's gonna form a dynasty.
He's had 17 years.
What's taking him so long? That one 5-star?
He needs 20 years.
If
But
they even get to one
To be
5-star.
honest, they have been on a steady climb coming
They
out
have,
of
yeah, I
the
mean-
Conference USA into like a
I mean,
Power
I gotta
5
give it to them,
conference and then
'cause
building up in the Power
We
5.
want the SEC. We would
Come
roll.
on. We'll swap you and A&M.
We would roll everybody in
I
there.
kind of like A&M. If that was my number 2 SEC team.
Let's
Bring
swap
up
with
Mizzou.
Mizzou
Swap
so I
with
can.
Mizzou.
with, yeah. Does anyone care about Missouri
No.
or Vandy?
You're gonna have to put one team from the West and the East though, because it doesn't make sense. To
No, I
put,
want us in the East so I can
Makes-
watch more
It
games.
makes no sense to put TCU in the East.
I mainly just want to join the SEC. That way I can like actually go to TCU games and like go to Vanderbilt TCU or something like that.
TCU would dog them.
Oh, it would be
It'd be so
not
bad.
funny at all.
Can you imagine like TCU's offense on Vandy's defense would just be
Oh, Derek Mason.
I just can't wait
Upset.
until Tennessee's good again, and we just go back to beating the shit out of Vanderbilt, Kentucky every year.
Yeah,
That's
well, how's that gonna feel for you?
That's the 2 markers on if Tennessee's garbage or not.
The fact that Kentucky usually sucks at football, that don't bother me one bit. Now, if we start losing to Tennessee all the time in basketball, then we got a problem.
Hey, rank.
Hot take: Tennessee's going to upset Kentucky at least once this year. Basketball.
They always do.
Hot take.
Rick Barnes is a good coach.
Hot
Hey,
take.
Not no
Our
Calipari.
boys, the Blue Raiders, they upset Vandy the other day. Ryan went to the game.
Didn't they
Would-
lose to like a D2
Would
school,
that really be an
exhibition game?
upset, though?
They
Who,
did.
Vandy?
No,
or
MTSU.
MTSU.
We did.
Yeah.
Y'all told me that.
It was
last
like an
time.
exhibition game, but it was like, I don't think that we were playing our guys. Like, I think it was like,
Still,
I know
your
we lost.
backup should be able
We
to
lost to an NAIA school like a few years
Oh
ago.
my god.
Cumberland.
It was pitiful.
The
I'll say this:
NTSU
the
is
talent
good.
level at NAI is it's a lot higher than most people think, just because most of the people that play there are D1 dropouts,
That's
Or people
crazy.
who ain't smart enough to get D.
I know
or
that
it's people that aren't smart enough to.
I
go
know that the
D1.
track, like as far as like track athletes, a lot of them go to NAIA.
they lost to Belmont's the only team they lost to, MTSU.
Hey, TCU beat them. Which means TCU's better than TSU basketball.
That's not saying a lot.
Y'all got an albino dude, so he's
Yeah,
automatically trash.
He's hard.
I feel like, what's his face was like almost albino. He wasn't. He just had
Which
a
one?
really weird complexion for MTSU.
Reggie.
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 Oh yeah, I can see it.
There's another guy on the team. I thought it was his little brother because they have the exact same like complexion and like the freckles and everything. I don't know. They're not related at all, but they look a lot alike.
Alright, well, we're starting to ramble, and
Yeah, I
it
feel
is
like we're just
late
talking now.
AF,
It is late. It is almost
Where we
1
are.
a.m.
and this was meant to be uploaded earlier, but
We
to all of our
lost.
fans,
We tried to do a video pod,
and we lost it. So.
the video stopped.
I guess that's just the PodBoi guides
We,
saying,
We originally picked all of the bowl games, all of them.
Like we were almost to the New
We were
Year's Six
almost
games.
yeah.
and y'all join our league. It's the PodBoi podcast Pick'em. I will put a link to that if I can ever figure it out how to on Twitter.
It's PodBoi, like one word, PodBoi. If you just type in PodBoi, it'll pull it up. It's all one word.
But it's, yeah, the PodBoi podcast Pick'em. Follow us on Twitter at PodBoi_podcast. And our SoundCloud, which this will undoubtedly be on. Subscribe. And I guess we're...
And Spreaker, who still hasn't put us on Apple Podcast yet, it's a little salty, but eventually, one day, we will be on Apple Podcast if Spreaker ever gets it together.
And shout out to all of our followers and
We're glad you listened.
donators, which is nobody.
I was
But
gonna say, what?
all right, Savannah, since Wes isn't here, you're the sole person that's got to say it. Pod boys.
Out!